brand and talk about personal brand statement. It's a 1 or 2 sentence phrase that sums up what you do and what you stand for. I highlighted some of the qualities that I thought were most important to be authentic, clearly communicate what the brand delivers, and it's used in a variety of different ways. So it's an important piece that we need to create. We go into taglines. I reverse the order of this. Taglines, which is a catchy quip that evokes an image of the brand. Taglines enable people to make a light-hearted association with the brand. A couple of examples is just do it. Of course, that's very memorable and recognizable. It only takes 1 second to know that that is Nike. And it's an easy piece to put on all types of posters, swag, t-shirts, and it's very memorable. The next one is McDonald's, I'm loving it. Taglines are usually a positive feeling about the brand as well. We go into slogans, and that's a little bit longer, but it also talks about how it's helping the customer. Some examples are BMW, and this sells the benefits, not the features. It's for your driving pleasure. And then this one is very different. Dollar Shave Club, shave time, shave money. It's about the product and how the brand sets itself apart from its competitors. Then we go into a motto, which is a different phrase, and it talks about the mission. It's short in description, and we're going to talk about like a motto is wife it in when you can stand out. That's Dr. Seuss. So we listen to mottos all the time, and we're going to talk about real estate mottos and how each one is descriptive about that company or about that brokerage individually. Then we're going to stop, and we're going to take 5 to 10 minutes to write 10 ideas in their workbook using their values and emotions that they already circled, and try to come up with some ideas. And this would be a great time to do pair and share or work together with a partner. And also, after they stop, have them share some of them if they would like. Now we start getting into the design. So a question that you can have for the class is, have they ever worked with a brand designer to create a logo or a visual brand? And I think it'd be interesting to hear what they said about that experience and who they might have used as well. We're going to talk about brand design and style and go into colors, fonts, logos, photos, and some of the important aspects that they need to choose from in this piece of their aesthetic part of their branding. Then we're going to talk about color palette and take some time on this to talk about the different types of companies and the colors that they chose and why. I also added some notes here and have them talk about maybe 2 to 3 colors that they think, and have them write that in their notes, that they think kind of goes with what their strategy is going to be for their design. This is another neat one. This gives some more words that they might have used in their values and emotions, and some of the colors that they might want to choose from. This is also in their booklet. This, we're going to talk about the percentage of the top brand colors that are chosen, and we'll talk, just you could discuss it, why blue? Well, that's usually financial colors. And then we are going to go into what kind of color palettes are used and which ones are the most used. And this is a monochromatic, and it has the color wheel, which I think is important for them to kind of get a better understanding of this. Complementary ones are yin and yang, warm and cold, a lot of opposites to each other. One of the most recognizable palettes, and using true color. Another one is 3 colors side by side. And this is the triangle, which is another 3 colors. So it seems to be able to use these 3 colors and just kind of briefly go over how they dominate one over the other. Then we have the neutral palette, and you pick one pop of color. This is a fun way to do this in a very minimalistic way for today's story branding. Here's an example of the contrasting cool and warm colors as well, and some of the brands that go with that. Then we start talking about fonts. Fonts, there's so many to choose from. So I kind of give them an example about if you were a wedding photographer, what that would look like, what would your fonts be? You know, if you're a law office, you're using a totally different type of font, that you should pick out about 3 complementary fonts, and one can be script if that evokes what you're trying to convey, maybe a certain style or sophistication or luxury brand. You might want to use a script. You just want it to be legible. Then we're going to talk about logo. So it can be clear and concise, and it's simple. It's like a hieroglyphic. It tells more than just, the logo. It's the story. Talk about Apple's a symbol, eBay's a word mark, FedEx is both. And then they can sketch it out and send it in to Fiverr and other companies like that. So here's an example of some different ones that were created for real estate. And they're very simple, but they do evoke a certain feeling or maybe a certain area that they concentrate in as an agent. And more notes. Photos create a gallery, and you can put these in Canva. You can have a certain folder on your phone. You just want photos that kind of resonate with you, and you can put overlay filters and get them to be more fitting to your company and your branding. For example, Independence Title, everything's Texas. We definitely use our colors. Over here you can see the Cart Studio, how they used some interiors and they kind of laid them out where they were side by side when you actually go into their Instagram. And all of this information is not just Instagram. This is material that you would use on your website, your Facebook, and other platforms as well. But being consistency is the key. Now we're going to talk about brand implementation, about that consistency and where we're going to implement the brand. You also have some of this information in the booklet as well. Brand touch points, this just talks about all the different places that you're going to use brand information and how your voice, your pictures, everything needs to communicate the same experience across all these different platforms. So we'll talk about website design. So on this, you can clearly see it has something to do with housing because we have an interior photo. And then we have their logo as well. And then some of the other things and elements would be their colors are consistent. We want your website to be like the front room of your house. It's very organized, it's clean and neat, it's visually appealing and comfortable. It welcomes them in. It's their storefront. And you want to have an impact when they first see it. So then we talk about content creation, and this is where you want to showcase your knowledge of your business. It could be through blogs on LinkedIn, it could be videos on YouTube, but it's still the content you create and the way you present it is all consistent. Talking about social media, you want to use social media to be social. And you can see this is the same company. They have a real soft palette in their photo together. It's obviously in the Carolinas and a water feature shown as well on the Facebook. You want to be able to communicate with your audience and show trust in your social media. Basic elements of consistency is your logo and colors. You want to keep that across the board. Here's some images as well. Going back to those logos and colors, they've still stuck with that same coloring. They show a lot of different properties that are on the water in the Carolinas. And it has a flow on all platforms. You know it's the Carolinas. The tone and the voice, this is her separate page, but the Carolinas Finest, she has that on there. And then she also has expert real estate team, innovative use of technology and video, and she does a lot of video, so it's consistent. What she's saying is consistent across all platforms. Some other basic consistent information is your domain name. They all need to be the same. Branded links, you can make URLs usually within every platform, and it's a short link that will get them to the website. After we go into just the consistency of that branding, then we can talk a little bit about Canva. And we put this at the end so that if we have extra time, we can actually go in there and create accounts, house some things like colors and fonts, and work on, see what in Canva we can get for free to go ahead and create a logo. And we're going to talk about Independence Title colors and how our branded colors are in there. Our logos are housed in Canva. You can house your photos. There's different photo folders and design folders. All of your stuff is in one place so that everybody can use it consistently, especially if you're on a team. And then we go into some final thoughts. It takes time to build brand presence, and the most loved brands are created by relationships. And consistency of your brand purpose, deliver on your promise, and your brand will eventually be associated with an idea or emotion in the minds of your clients, and the clients will start to come to you after they see that consistency. And then we end with the ending screen, but at this time then we can go into our accounts, exploring Canva, take our bio templates, put those across platforms, and this is where you can kind of help one-on-one and go, person to person, or help each other in a group. And if I think of other things, I will add them in your notes. I really enjoyed this class and just enjoy it too.